Good morning everyone. Welcome to Chemistry Concepts. Myself Lakshmi Prashanti. In this video, today our concept is about characteristics of the liquid state. What is the liquid which is present in the universe? Or what is the liquid we are intaking into our body daily? That is nothing but water. What is the formula of water? H2O, right? Water, this is liquid state one of the example for liquid state, the substance which is present in the liquid state at the room temperature. Okay, why I kept the at the room temperature? Why? Because if we kept the water in fridge, what will happen? That water, the molecular formula will be same, H2O only, but the water liquid state will become gets freeze into, it becomes get condensed into a ice cube. Ice cube means it is a solid substance. But whether it is present in liquid form or in solid form, the formula of water is H2O only. But at the room temperature it is present in liquid form. But at lower temperature, that means in the fridge, it get condensed to form a ice cube. That is nothing but solid state. So today we will discuss about the characteristics of liquid state. Okay, characteristics of liquid state. What is the main? Solid means the particles are closely arranged in a regular or repeating manner, or in a regular arrangement of the constant particles. That's why we can call it as solid. There is very less intermolecular spaces, very high intermolecular forces, less thermal energy. That is in case of solid. But in case of liquid, we are having some free movement of the constant atoms or particles. That means it is having the intermolecular spaces, medium intermolecular spaces, medium intermolecular forces. That means comparatively solid, less intermolecular forces. Comparatively solid, high thermal energy. Comparative to solid, less intermolecular forces and high intermolecular spaces. Okay. Once we will go through the characteristics of liquid state. Characteristics of liquid state. Liquids, that means it is having less intermolecular space. We are having comparison between three states: solid, liquid and gas. In case of solid, intermolecular space is very less, but when compared in case of liquid, it is having high. But in case of gases, the intermolecular space is very high. Okay, that means when comparison with solids, it is having less intermolecular forces. Forces also it is here less, but spaces means high. Intermolecular forces, here solids high, very high intermolecular forces. Here medium, that means high. Here very less intermolecular forces. Intermolecular space is more means force is less. That's why it is inversely proportional. And high thermal energy. Thermal energy high means when compared to solid, it is having high thermal energy. Intermolecular spaces are high. Intermolecular forces are high, right? Less intermolecular spaces, here high intermolecular spaces. That means here thermal energy is very high, here thermal energy is high, here thermal energy is less thermal energy. Intermolecular space is less, that's why less thermal energy. Intermolecular space is high, that's why high thermal energy. Intermolecular space is very high, that's why it is having very high thermal energy. And high intermolecular spaces that I already explained. Comparison to solids. Okay. Here the first point is comparison between the three states. Solids means regular arrangement of the particles. That's why spaces between the atoms is less. So Space is less means attractive force is high, that's why thermal energy is less. In case of liquid, medium intermolecular spaces, that's why medium intermolecular forces, medium thermal energy. In coming to gas, quite opposite to that of solids, very high intermolecular spaces, that means less intermolecular, high intermolecular spaces, so less intermolecular forces and very high thermal energy. I think first point is clear. Next, second point is liquids have fixed mass. For example, water. If we take it in a water bottle, before filling to the water in the bottle, that is having some mass. That is the solid mass. After filling it is, the mass of the bottle will increase. The way because that liquid having some fixed mass and it is occupying some fixed volume, that may be 1 liter bottle or half liter bottle. But it is not having a definite shape. Why? Because if we water filled in the bottle, it will attain the shape of the bottle. If we kept the water in some other container, it may be bucket or whatever it may be, then that shape will be attained by that liquid. So it is not having a definite shape, but it is having fixed mass and fixed volume, but not having definite shape. It attains the shape of the container in which it is placed. Where we are kept that liquid, that container shape will be attained by that particular liquid. That is the second point. Third point, liquids can be compressed. That can be compressed. That means why can we compress? Because of the space between the molecules. It is having some gaps. That's why we can compress. That gap will be filled. But here large pressure is required to compress them. That's large. If we apply high pressure, then only we can compress the liquids. Fourth point, liquids have less densities than solids. Density means mass by volume. If we compare the solids, in particular space, the particles are arranged in a close arrangement in a regular pattern. So here amount of the particles or mass of the particles is more in this particular volume. In the same case for liquid, it is having some spaces between it. That's why what will happen? The mass will decrease for that particular volume. So when compared with the solid, liquids have less densities. Okay. Next, fifth point, liquids are fluids because of the ability to flow. Water, they can flow in the river. Why? How they can flow? Because the particle here, this particle collide with this particle, then this will move from this place to this place. That is movement of the particle from one place to another place. How can they move? Because of the spaces between them. But here, can they move? No. That's why here solids we can call it as rigid. Here liquids, fluids. Liquids are called fluids because of the ability to flow. Once go through the characteristics of liquid state. In my previous video I explained the characteristics of solid state. Once go through it, like, share and subscribe. Thank you.